My blissful gorgeous self, Lakshmanji said to the group of Vanaras and SriRam, introducing SriRam to Sugriva and all his friends. During our residence in Panchavati forest, Princess Sita was stolen away by an unknown assailant, and we have been searching for her, and searching and searching and searching, we have arrived here, without whom my beloved brother cannot remain peaceful. Once Sri Ram asked about a mountainous store of bones, and the rishi said, they are the bones of philosophers' class who were eaten up by the demons. Then Sri Ram, allaying their fears, raised his right arm and said, I shall unburden the earth of such inhuman demons. Lakshman continued speaking to Sugriva and all the assembled ministers. The day before yesterday, we were captured by the great demon Kabandh, whom we killed on the spot. After his death, his spirit sprang up in space and advised us to come to you and make your acquaintance. And Lakshman said in conclusion of his talk, it is my great fortune that the highly spiritual son of such an elevated Aryan race wishes my friendship, said Sugrivaji loud and clear. This is more beneficial to me. This is more beneficial to me than to you, my beloved friends. You are doing me a great honor by accepting me as your friend. Sugriva stretched out his arm towards Sri Ram and concluded, all my creativity and energy is yours. Please accept it and make me yours. Sri Ram clasped those outstretched hands of Sugriva and filled with great joy embraced him. There is a custom Aryans have of shaking hands in front of a burning fire. Once done, they perceive their love and friendship forever. They preserve their love and friendship for whole life, no matter what happens, said Hanumanji, and quickly collected some wood from the fire. For the fire, he continued, the astral bodies and we semi-divine races accept fire as the supreme witness, and so it is my hope that both your holiness will establish this friendship with fire as your witness. Hanuman, you seem to be at the peak of intelligence, Ram said, smiling at him as Hanuman quickly performed a short worship of fire with flowers. Sri Ram and Sugriva circumambulated the fire holding hands. Hanumanji was chanting Vedic hymns. You have become my companion, kinsman and friend, Sugriva was saying in a choking voice, full of joy. Our pain and happiness are one. Your enemy will be my enemy, and your friend will be my friend. My friends, Ram does not release an arrow twice. He does not establish a refuge for the homeless twice. And Ram does not speak twice. The same Ram accepts your friendship. Let all the astral and celestial beings roaming in all directions remember it. These words spoken by Sri Ram are not egoistic, my dear friend, they are truth. We will find him finishing Bali by one single arrow and using innumerable arrows for Ravan. It is all a play for him. Warriors and heroes are always addicted to making fun. Sri Ram does not give shelter and wealth to the homeless or beggar more than once. This does not mean that he becomes a miser after once. He it means that he gives so much in one time that the homeless or beggars never need to beg any more throughout their lifetimes. It was the tradition of the solar dynasty to sacrifice one's body but not to move from a given word. According to modern civilization, it would seem a nuisance to stick to a given word because modern man's mind is fickle and restless. There is a great yogi famous all over the world who says, when I find a bigger fish, I don't care about the smaller fish I picked up before. Modern man promises someone and gives his word to that person, but when a more beneficial person or arrangement comes, then he neglects the previous promise. This is due to fickle mindedness. This happens because man does not have the potentiality to decide what is best at once. When you always measure the best on a material level, you lose the origin of the best within you. Then you are caught in a vicious circle. The more the allurement, the more restlessness. It is actually a sin not to carry through what you have promised because it makes the mind restless, anchorless, spiritless, and empty. No perfume of spirituality will blow. Do not give your word unless you can fulfill it at any time. If you can always keep your word, then you will receive a greater benediction and meditation in your life than any yogi can give you. This was an age-old system in the dynasty of Sri Ram. That is why he claims Ramo Durna Vibhashate. Ram does not speak twice. Ram is not double-standard guy. Ram is not double-faced person. Ram speaks once, and that's like thunderbolt. That is going to happen. That is the future. Ramo dirna vivashate Dvisharam nabhisandhate Dvisthapayati nasritan. Ramo dirna vibhashate. This is what he had told Sugriva in fulfilling the lustre of his dignity. Today, my destiny, which robbed me of all possessions and exiled me, proved to be fruitful for you, my beloved Grace. I have found you as my loving friend. Sugriva was speaking. It was the golden dawn of my fortune today, Sugriva said to Sri Ram as they sat together on a beautiful blossoming tree branch seat. Lakshmanaji was sitting close by on another seat made from a branch that was full of sandal blossoming flowers. The ministers dispersed to arrange for a beautiful feast, and Hanumanji stood nearby with folded palms. The sky was open, clear and blue. Slow, fragrant breeze were enlivening the body and mind, and all was cool and silent. One day I was sitting alone, Sugriva said. One day I was sitting alone with my 4 ministers on this hilltop like today. We were sitting. Sugriva said to his new friend SriRama, who was looking like a prince and warrior, lotus faced, long armed, clad in philosopher's dress. Because he possessed such a great and intense love for his wife, Sita, the pangs of separation could easily be read on his face. Sugriva continued his conversation with SriRama. We heard a beautiful feminine voice crying in the sky. With great surprise, we lifted our heads and saw a line combined with golden and blackish light passing like lightning. The voice we heard from the sky. You become my god brother and convey my news to my spouse. Sugriva was telling about a voice full of sorrow which he had heard in the sky. A scarf was dropped from the sky. Where is that scarf? SriRama asked excitedly. I have kept it safe, said Sugrivaji, glancing at Hanumanji, who leaped up to the cave and in moments brought back the scarf in which ornaments were wrapped. He put the bundle before them. Ah, my beloved, O Janaki Sita, Sri Ram wept in tears, placing those bangles and earrings and necklaces and anklets and a scarf against his bosom. My honorable brother, now we have found our helpers in the best of Manaras, Lakshmanaji enjoined politely. My dear friend, I fully believe you are a great scholar and warrior and great intellect acquired from the civilized world. I was only brought up in the jungle. Sugriva spoke in tears. Bali has stolen my wife, kicked me out, and has insulted me greatly. Still, I have not lost my patience and I am passing my days silently. And Sri Ram said with tear-filled eyes, looking towards Sugriva, I shall kill the abductor of your wife with my many divine weapons. You don't worry. I know the wives of Aryans are very chaste, and I can promise that whomever a person like you grieves for is the essence of chastity. I am sure nobody can harm her. Her purity is like a burning poison. Sugriva said, I will find her whereabouts. I'll find her whereabouts and try to throw that rascal who kidnapped her into hell. That will be done later, Sri Ram spoke very seriously. At present, Ram does not want to see this fellow who has stolen Sugriva's wife remaining alive. Sugriva trembled with fear, but my brother Bali is extremely powerful. We could not even imagine facing him then. Sugriva told many things about Bali and took Sri Ram to another place. Do you see that? Sugriva pointed his finger. You mean that huge white mountainous rock? Sri Ram asked. Well, it is not a rock but a skeleton of a gigantic warrior Dundubhi, whom Bali killed and threw away standing in the middle of his own city, said Sugriva. Oh, I see. Sriram felt that his friend now wanted to fathom the depths of his power, and he walked to the huge skeleton and kicked it with the toe of his right foot. Hanumanji leaped with the skeleton and soon reported back that it had fallen to earth 80 miles from where it was standing. Then, when Bali threw it away, it was inconceivably heavy due to the large amount of flesh and blood. Now, it was just a dry skeleton, Sugriva said. Sugriva could not imagine that Sri Ram had kicked it 80 miles, and that Bali, using his full strength and power, using both arms, had thrown it only 10 miles. Sri Ram had just kicked it as if it was some cow dung cake. Sugriva wanted still more proof of Sri Ram's power, so he took him to another part of the hill, very close to the Pampa pond. My dear friend, do you see those trees? Asked Sugriva. You mean those 7 palm trees standing in a serpentine way? Inquired Sri Ram. Yes. Before Bali was cursed by Rishi Matanga, he came here once in rainy season with 7 big ripened dates. Placing them safely in his lonely place, he went to take a bath in the lake. After completing his daily routine, he returned and found a huge snake lying on his fruit. He cannot eat these fruits because you have polluted them, Bali said. He was very angry with the snake, so he cursed it, saying, therefore, the seeds of these fruits will sprout, tearing off your body, and they will stand as huge trees. The snake replied, I was just attracted by their perfume. Their touch was cool, so I laid upon the fruits. I did not touch them with my mouth and make them impure. You have cursed me, an offenseless one, so you will reap the consequences of your curse. I now curse you. Whoever shall destroy these trees shall kill you also. Talking to a snake, cursing him, and being answered by him seems nowadays like a fairy tale. In modern civilization, neither curses nor boons are effective. Why? Because we lack endurance and patience and strong truthfulness as those days. If one is very sincere in his duty and services, and someone else disturbs or persecutes him, and even though he may pardon him, some inauspicious words may spring up from within. These words materialize very quickly. This is a curse. But we do not curse, we abuse if we become angry, and if we cannot abuse for some reason, then we repress or suppress, which pollutes our insides. Due to lack of depth in the personality, boons are not effective either. We are always wishing for something flattering and praise.